Yeah, I mean, I'm an immigrant, first generation, 5 years old. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to get it. I mean, I've always wanted to be rich. I've always wanted to, my parents weren't poor. We weren't living in poverty, but.
Were you first generation?
First generation.
No fucking
Born in the Ukraine. What used to be the USSR. Yeah, came over in 5. Yeah, Russian was my first language.
No way.
Yeah.
Yo, hey, listen, people, and by the way, as I say that, I'm not trying to put down anyone who aren't an immigrant, because there's so many other factors that really affects, someone whose ancestors is only tracked to like being here. And, I don't want to make it like that, but me as an immigrant, when I came here, I just felt like, this is the only option we have.
Yeah, I think it has to do with family. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember, my ex, she used to tell me her mom was like, well, I just hope you graduate high school. That was her mom's ultimate goal.
Thank you.
That her daughter graduate high school.
Thank you. No. Thank you.
You see what I'm saying? And it's just like, of course I was going to graduate high school. Of course I was going to college. Of course I'm going to, to me, it was just assumed in my family structure that this is
high school. That's the fucking least.
Yeah, whatever. I'm taking AP classes. You know what I mean? Graduating was just a given. But yeah, I mean, when you talk about expectations and people having low expectations, they get to college, it's like, oh, I made it to college. I'm done. Now I can party. You're about to have a lifetime worth of debt if you don't have the right major right now. You're gonna be able to pay that shit back quickly.
No, of
you see what I'm saying? And then you're gonna be one of the college is a scam. Nah, motherfucker, you majored in European history. You know what I'm saying?
Vlad,
of course you think it's a scam.
Life changed for me once. On breaks in college, people would go back home. It was so uncomfortable. At that point, you got to remember, when I came here, I'm like 10.
Yeah.
Now I'm like 18, man. I don't want to go. Us three can't sleep in the same bed no more. It's not going to work.
Right.
I'm 18, you 23. He is 32. It's not about to work. We grown men.
Right.
You know what I mean? We got body odors. My brother keep farting. Niggas ain't showering. Come on, what we doing? So what I did, I said, I made the decision. I said, I'm not going back home on the breaks.
Yeah, me too.
I said, I'm going to figure it out.
Figure it out. Yep.
And I was just determined.
Yep.
And by the way, I always said, lost in that story is that my mom always had a loving home, even if it was, crammed. It was no, you could. I'm not. I got to figure this shit out.
No, mine too. I could always go back home.
Yeah,
I can go back home right now if I want. But no, but you don't want to. You don't. Once you go to college and you get that feeling of freedom and autonomy of coming and go as you please, it's you don't want to go back home.
I was the first to move out of all my brothers, and I was the youngest.
Nice.
It's just I couldn't do no more.
Yep.
I just couldn't. I'm man, I can't see myself continually getting back in the cycle of coming back to this. And here's the funny thing too. So as we grew older, my mom broke up with that guy. That guy had moved out, and my mom had a room, and then it was us three in another room. But then my oldest brother, 30 something now, right? He basically says, "Listen, hey, I'm down to pay the rent, or split the rent, or pay some portion of the rent, but I need a room for myself because now I got chicks.
Move out.
Yeah, I got chicks that's trying to link me. So my mom, and then I think this is 100% the reason why I didn't go back. So my mom made the decision. Okay, if you're gonna help out on rent, okay, we'll get your 2 brothers out of your room. That's your room now. So where do we go? It's 2 rooms. My mom, me and my brother and my mom would share rooms, but it would kind of work at first because she would work at the times we slept. And then when we were up and out, she would be there. So we're staying in the same room.
Yeah, it's a mess.
But then later on, she also she started sleeping on the couch. After that, it was a dub for me. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Because walking into the house and your mom sleeping on the couch, it's I don't know what it does for nobody else, but it makes you as a man, it makes you feel like a failure.
Yeah.
Especially when you're doing other bullshit. You getting girls, you wasting your time doing a lot of bullshit, and your mom is sleeping on the couch. Yeah. It's defeating. So I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna go home to force her to leave the room to be like, because now me and my brother, we're both away at school. When we go home, she would give up her room and go sleep on the couch. So I'm like, I'm not even going back.